All right, everybody, welcome back to Bald and Board Games. Bald here. Boyd is back in town, but away. This just came in today, 7th Citadel Season 2. So I'm going to do an unboxing for you of this. We're not going to do a rulebook rundown or anything, because this is exactly the same as 7th Citadel, just it's more content for us. It's an expansion to, if you will, it's Season 2, whatever. But 7th Citadel, Explore, Build, You Are the Hero by Serious Poulp. So, 7th Citadel, if you don't know what it is an exploration / survival game. 7th Continent was the first one where it was purely just exploring, and you had like a random curse that you were trying to figure out how to get off this island since you woke up with amnesia somewhere, and it had this really cool mechanism where you slowly revealed cards as you explored. And it really feels like it paved the way for that sort of gameplay aspect that Awakened Realms did with Tainted Grail soon afterwards. And then, so 7th Citadel went a step further with that mechanic. So 7th Continent was really punishing. Like, it was very hard to make it to the end and survive. 7th Citadel is not easy, but it gives you more options to survive. You have a life track instead of just having your deck of cards. There's more of a story to 7th Citadel. You have a big piece of paper, I think they have some in here, where you track your progress, goals, upgrades to different buildings, stuff like that, equipment, and just way more of a story to 7th Citadel than 7th Continent. 7th Continent was a lot of fun. I think I definitely enjoyed 7th Citadel a bit more from what we have played, and there is some gameplay of 7th Citadel when we first got it up on the channel from the early days of our channel. Eventually, we will get more gameplay in of this, of course, because there are multiple booklets of stories, and we, of course, this being a co-op campaign game, did not survive because Board and I kind of suck at those. The only one that we've gotten through successfully is Isafarian Guard, and that was mainly because we only had to be cooperative in the battles, and it was primarily we got to structure our people to be the best they could be. So it was co-op, but we started our own thing. We're like Tainted Grail, you really have to work together or else you're screwed, and that is the same here, and we failed both of those. So, are you ready to see what's in the 7th Citadel? Empty. No. Put that right over here. Okay, so we have a new threat book, The First Garden. So this is, 7th Citadel in general has a bunch of these threat books where you are trying to get to the end. I forget if there's multiple endings. I know that there is multiple bad endings. I forget if there's multiple good endings where you get through it, but The First Garden. We'll read the first paragraph of this. The curtain rises. The performance by the traveling troupe, which arrived at the Citadel yesterday, is drawing in to a close. The 4 actors, 3 men and 1 woman, have captivated their audience with one of the legendary tales of the Amber Knight. This time, the hero did not rely on his famous sword, still managing to fell 12 brigands in the bandit gorges with a single arrow. The resounding applause from former slave gardeners and newly arrived refugees shows just how much the performance struck a chord. But the lighthearted moment does not last. Very cool. So yeah, so you are a slave gardener. So you are slaves in this garden, and you essentially break out, and now you're trying to, do whatever the story is. So I love this aspect of the 7th Citadel series. This is one of the reasons why I like it more than 7th Continent, is it has this whole book for multiple different stories that tell you, okay, if you did this, then you get this thing, and then move on here, or you failed, and there's a little icon saying, okay, if you get a card with this, they help you out maybe. And you're just kind of exploring this world within this story. So fun. All right, next up, we have a dialogue book. So A. So this is going to be a lot of the dialogue that you're going to experience throughout the game in various ways. So I think it'll reference in here when to go to this dialogue book and what number to read. It's probably also on the cards. The First Garden. This expansion contains a threat booklet, the A dialogue book, Citadel leaflet, and 126 cards, bringing a unique ID number, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so this is for specifically these 2 here. So it's telling you what is included. So it looks like there's an achievement sheet as well. Oh, there's a couple of them here. Whenever you complete one of the following achievements during the current threat, check the corresponding diamond box and take 149 card or a 152 card. A 49 card or a 152 card. Cool. So, achievements. Nice. 2 sheets the same, so you have some repeats there. Very cool. I'm sure you can get extras online if you happen to go through them. We have a sticker sheet here. Interesting. This was not part of the original. So stickers. These crests are meant to be placed in the designated area on the community page of the Citadel leaflet. The other stickers are to be placed in the world map pages of the same leaflet, allowing you to mark points of interest, danger, treasure, encounters, mushroom plants, and much more. Okay, so it's kind of like there's stickers you can put out onto big map leaflets. They have this big plastic leaflet where you stick cards into that it looks like it's saying, hey, you can put stickers onto that plastic portion to say, hey, this is where a thing was that is regarding this. Very video game-esque for that. Let me see, can you look closer for you? There we go. Yeah, so very video game-esque. We have chest, mushrooms, looks like the typically victory point sign. I forget what that's called. It's the plant, like that's woven into like a headband, something like that. Swords, dialogue, skulls, some sort of plant, exclamation point, question mark, book, open book, scroll, helmets, supply. I think these are things you get and you mark on your sheet. Cool. There we are. So here we have some more of these leaflets here. So these essentially keep track of your progress on. So there's a few of these in the base game. So they gave you 2 more here as well. So you see on the front here, you are, oops, sorry, forward for you. You are keeping track of the your production, defense, knowledge, influence, which gets referenced in the game. Here you have your ground shiver level. So think Dune. There's big worms in the ground that could hurt you. Then opening this up, you have essentially, this is like a skill tree right here. So you're just gonna be marking stuff off as you go. It tells you what things mean down here. Then you have the big map, like the general just kind of map area here. This is not the one I don't think you'd be putting stickers onto, or maybe it is, I don't know. And here you have side quests. So as you do side quests, complete them, you can mark them off on there. So notes on the bottom. There's a backside here. So you have your action icon, just all your references, which is great. So this also serves as a player aid. Inside is where you have all your buildings that you'll be upgrading as you go through the game. And then back to the front. So it gave you 2 more of those. I forget how many were in the base game. Okay. Season 1 upgrade pack. Okay, so there's some errata, some cards to fix. Let's say it has some stickers that you'll place into certain books. It did say the stickers are slightly too big in certain areas and they cover up a little bit of something or other. So I will probably go through as I go to put these in and trim them down before I unstick them to make sure they fit in there perfectly. But very cool. 7th Citadel core box has barcode, blah, 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 blah. You do not need to add these cards or apply the following stickers. So if you got, they did a reprint of the main game with this Season 2, so I'm assuming that barcode is of Season 2. I'll double check mine just to make sure. I'm pretty sure I have the first edition of 7th Citadel. So replacing all these cards in there. So I'm not going to open those and go through because those are just replacements for old cards. But looks like that's about it. Some stuff for the books and the cards. All right, cool. So this is just a little card holder. Just very fun just to have. Using assembly instructions, so it holds your discard and your remove from game cards, I believe, as you're playing, instead of just being off to the side. Nice. And now we get to the meat of a lot of what's in here. So I'm going to move this off to the side so we can see more clearly. And take a little swig of my drink. Sorry, looking back, so the computer's behind me, so just making sure everything looks good for you. I have a Cintiq over here for my artwork, so I'm looking to, I don't know why I never thought of it beforehand, I'm going to use that as a second monitor on this side. So I have the HDMI cable, I got the wrong USB cord. So getting a long one so I can plug it from the computer all the way across the wall, back over here. So this way we're never looking behind us, we're looking at you, and then kind of just off camera to see the other screen. We're newbies, give us a break. All right, so we have an empty plastic container. Wow. No idea what's going in there. I guess we'll find out. That's funny. 7th Citadel. Mysteries. All right. Next we have these lovely fun guys that these actually always come in handy in games that have cards, keeping them nice and stiff so they're not falling over all over the place. All right, here we go. This is what we want to see. Boom. So all the cards have this nice container like this here. I have all these cards in there. It has some dividers, it looks like, in the bottom as well. So 5, 14, 51, 191, 291, 650, 700, 750, and the back. Interesting, it starts with 5, so we may have to keep these separate from the base. 14, 51, 191. Interesting, okay, cool. We have a bunch of cards here. We'll open those in a moment. Let's just put that off to the side. Let's get the next stuff out. Another one for more of the cards. Easy, buddy. And we have a bunch of the expansion content in here. Nicely. Whoop, easy, buddy. Another one. That box is empty. Good deal. Then we have all this here. Okay. Let's see what this is. Whoop. All right. So first up, we have Bookworm. Bookworm. This expansion for 7th Citadel contains 40 cards, including 20 double cards. To spice up your adventure, it can be played. Sorry, it cannot be played without the base game and the First Garden expansion. First cards we took out initially. So Bookworm gets mixed right in to be played with the First Garden expansion specifically. Of course, you need the base game. So this doesn't come with Season 2. So it doesn't come with any of like the little minis or any components. That's obviously all in the base game. So these all probably say you need the base game to play them. Okay, next up, we have the Reversal. This expansion includes 30 alternate terrain and event cards that add new twists and variety to the introductory scenario, A New Beginning. It cannot be played without the base game and the First Garden expansion. Nice. All right, so add some variety to A New Beginning. Vagor's Poem. The time the threat is lurking. Oh, this time the threat is lurking in your mind. This expansion is a new curse for the 7th Citadel. It contains 30 cards. It cannot be played without the base game and First Garden expansion. All right, nice. Okay, and here. 3 Good Fellows. Oh, we got some ghosties. Fun. 3 Good Fellows. It is rumored that some individuals possess a rare gift, the ability to commune with the wandering souls of their lost loved ones and guide them to their final rest. Through a supernatural bond with their spirit, you can summon these ethereal presences to serve as wise guides, unseen scouts, or tireless protectors. And, like many of these extraordinary beings, known as Pathfinders, you don't even know about your ability until an opportunity awakens it. So the expansion contains 3 ghost figures and 30 cards to spice up your adventure. It cannot be played without the base game and First Garden expansion. I will open these, by the way. I'm just reading them all before we get to them. So now we have Stranded Remains. Ooh. Nearby, the grounds look as if it's been plowed. You follow the strange tracks and eventually come across a massive ship anchor, its chain broken. How could you have ended up here? You consider questioning the scouts you sent out to map the collapsing lands. Perhaps they have seen something like this before. So we have 6 remained figures and 30 cards and a mystery box. It cannot be played without the 7th Citadel base game of the First Garden expansion. Cool. All right, let's open this one first. I'm going to get out my knife here. Let's move these out of the way until I need them. Okay, and let's get this open without causing damage because I don't want to kill the box yet. All right. Go. Okay. So we got some minis in here. So 6 terrain minis, and I will hold these up for you so you can see. I'm going to keep them in here though, because it'll be easier for you to see if I keep them in here. As I almost dumped one out. Very cool. Sundrop too. I wasn't expecting that. I don't think any of the other ones, if I remember correctly, have this like Sundrop ink wash to them. On here, there's numbers. 2 of them say 2, 2 of them say 4, 1 says 3, and 1 says 5. Interesting. Cool. All right, next. We have a mystery box. So let's open. I'm kidding. This will not be opened until we are instructed to do so. Mystery box. Ooh, more goodies. Ooh. Oh, no, never mind. Okay, comes with a little squishy, just in case we need that. All right, so it comes with these little punch outs for some reason. Not entirely sure why. I don't think that really, oh, it does fit on top there actually. Nice, okay. So for some reason, we have some punch outs here, which I'm just gonna punch out right now. Boop, and boop. And they nicely fit right on top here, which is very interesting. That works. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of that. 7th Citadel. So all the instructions are these little leaflet things, which is very handy. Very easy to store with all the extra ones we want to add them in. Nearby, the grounds, blah, blah, blah. So the same thing we wrote on the back of it. So stranded remains. Important, do not open B box until the game tells you to do so. And then it goes through how to add them into the game. So it says you may prepare them in the game box before you start your game, following the same guidelines as the cards in the base game, and making sure that for each number, green adventure cards are placed before any gold adventure cards. Yep. When you discard, return the cards from the board, return any remains in the figure. Blah, blah, blah. So most of the expansions work this way, where you have your cards here, which we'll open right now, and everything gets stored in the exact same way, by number, and green in front of gold. And so the reason why green goes in front of gold, if you haven't played this, is because you have to draw all the greens before you can get to the gold in most situations. So something that's also nice about 7th Citadel is the cards are bigger, which is very, very nice. And these, I don't feel the need to sleeve these cards because you're not shuffling these really. And so they're just kind of in the box, nice and safe. You don't really have to worry about it. Maybe at some point I'll look at sleeving them just to make sure they all stay nice for long. But as you can see here, they are all numbered. There's some text on the front sometimes for when you draw them. Some other instructions down here. I'll show you the back really quick. We're not going to read them though. We want them to stay secret. So this looks like, got some. So then a typical exploration area looks like this. You see, now I'll show you. So you have a bunch of numbers, and essentially skill checks based on different equipment you have. So if you have a skill that can help you here, you can do that thing. They often give you perks. On some of the cards that have you interact with numbers, sometimes like hidden numbers somewhere in here, that if you find it, you then go pull the card and you'll have like a thumbs up with the number if it's correct. So cool. I'm not going to make you watch me sort through all these at all. So for now, I'm just going to put these to the side in one of these boxes just to kind of be held. And then I will figure out how those all go in afterwards. So there is Stranded Remains. All right. Let's do this last. Gotcha. Now, let's look at Vegor's poem. Let's see here. Oh, Leary trying to get to your bed, love? Hey, nope. The dog is trying to get over to her bed. That's the box of the trash blocking it. Okay, Vegor's poem. This time the thread's lurking in your mind. So again, instructions how to put them in there. I'm just going to tell you to add them in order, like I typically do. All right. Boom. And let's get you open. Another thing that they do very well with these is the plastic around the cards is always very easy to get off. I mean, they clearly use the same system that they use for cigarettes, but hey, you know what? I'd rather for this than that. Okay, so then, again, backs are going to be very much the same, okay? These flags have a significance in the game for, like, if you have, if you're in the storybook, I think, that has this symbol on the section you're in, you pull this card, stuff happens, but, okay? And then again, very much the same kind of interactions, situations. Looks like one place that you can explore that gets added in there, so very cool. Again, I don't want to hover too much on these. I don't want to spoil anything for you all. I'll put that over there in the same little box. This box off to the side for now. Arch. Let's do the reversal. This one's packed full of cards. It's hard to get into. Ooh, bent that a little bit. That's all right. The boxes probably won't be kept, unfortunately, because everything, thankfully, fits inside the boxes. Reversal and instructions, as always. Let's get that plastic off. Okay. So something I didn't go over. These cards here are the cards that are essentially around the edges of any, let me see if I can find, yeah, we'll just say this here, right? So if it was like this, which wouldn't make sense for the situation, but if it was, if you chose to explore this way, then you would flip this card over, do what it says on there before filling in the card that would go up there. And that's how they kind of keep things secret. There's always going to be some sort of random interaction. That's how they also make things a little more difficult, is this will get progressively more and more difficult to explore. But same thing. Pass cards. Ooh, plant. Nice. So this is definitely all in that first section. Excuse me, new beginning of the game where you start off. It's very reminiscent of that from what I remember. Put that over there. This box put away over here. All right. Let's dig into Bookworm. And we'll do the three good fellows before we do the main first card and set of cards. So that'll be next. The Bookworm. The Bookworm. If you've played 7th Citadel, let me know in the comments below if you have a favorite storybook or threat book so far. We've only tried to go through it one time. I definitely want to get back into it again. There's just so many campaign-style games that it's hard to get to them all. But absolutely we'll be getting back to this one at some point. This one has a lot of little booklets to it. It's very interesting. Hence Bookworm. That's kind of cool. Different plastic. So this one has your exploration cards, these normal things, and then there's books, which I was not expecting at all. The unfortunate who made their fortune. So you open that. Looks like there's a, that's cool. And it actually, so we have the unfortunate who made the book fortune. Open it up. It actually looks like a book. And on the back side would be what typically is on the back of the card. That's cool. God, I love creative people. Citadels. These are all cool. Oh, those are upside down. So dope. Ooh, tomes. Nice. And then all the typical cards. That is sweet. I really want to get back into play. ready to start doing some solo campaign runs for you all. I recently started going through Tainted Grail again, like by myself. The first one, Fall of Avalon, because the stories are so freaking good. And I want to beat it, because I want to do Red Death, The Last Night, all of that. Because I have Kings of Ruin, but I don't want to touch Kings of Ruin until I've gone through the rest of the story. And I know you can do story mode, but that feels like cheating, so I don't want to do that. So far, I'm doing significantly better. One, understanding the game much better than I did when I first tried it, and two, honestly, doing it by myself, having failed so many times, doing it with board, definitely learned what to do and what not to do. Okay, the three good fellows. All right. So you have your instructions here, of course, naturally. Looks like we have some punch outs of the three good fellows. So we'll punch them out. And then we have the standees and the actual. So these standees will be obviously for those. And I love the new trend of using the like see-through translucent material. Get closer for you. You see them a little bit better. The 7th Continent, 7th Citadel's minis are super small. They're probably the smallest I've seen until what did we get recently? Oh god, what did we unbox recently that had tiny minis also? Holy crap, I am blanking. Huh. I don't know. So I did Tales of Arabian Nights. Also has tiny minis. So let's actually get these little dudes on their bases, because they'll probably fit laying down right in there. Hello. Lay down. Yep, perfect. This guy doesn't have a head. Obviously, you don't have to use these because you have the actual minis here. But it is kind of nice that they include both in case you ever choose to for whatever reason. Boop. There we go. Very nice. I like. I wonder, for those that have a spot on top of those specifically. All right. Okay, we have the cards. So we got some blue cards you can see here, which these blue cards are the ones that end up in your hand that you can use, I believe. So there's a bunch of these blue cards, typically part of your draw deck. More of those green cards will just go into the box sorted. There's your characters. And then probably need to find out your Pathfinder. Yeah, and these here are the abilities that you can get. Looks like when you have one of the ghosts. So I think it says if you have one of the ghosts, you can do one of these down here. Essentially, when you're playing the game, you draw a certain number of cards to try and get successes, which would be that right there. The one complete star is a success. Those two halves don't count as success. You have to be able to actually put them together. So when you go through and you select skill upgrades and build out your deck, it's good to look through and see, okay, what do you have? How many left halves of a star do you have? How many right halves of a star do you have, to make sure that you can balance out your deck? But that's all of it. Everything that's in the box, like the individual boxes, all right here. So I'm gonna have this just kind of off to the side, and we'll go through the main big part here. So of course we have our dividers and everything. And all of our cards I'll put back in there in a moment. Big bricks worth of cards. All right. This is the last little bit here for you all. That's the first one. Again, we'll go through fast. That's cool. Just give you a little hint of some of the terrain that's in here. So it looks like we've got a snowy section somewhere. Oh, nice little swamp area somewhere. Town. Exploration spots. Goat. Ooh, that's cool. Top of the mountain. Nice. Cool. I'm pretty much going to do that for all these. We'll go through real quick. Just like that, so you can't really see what they are, but you can kind of see what they are, if you know what I mean. Catch my drift. Picking up what I'm putting down. Whole shebang. This one must have been too big to do like the other ones. So, go in. Knife. Got some more upgrade cards here and or starting cards. Those blue ones. Stay. Little cards. Alright, so we got the blue cards here. On the back side, we'll move those off for a moment. And then all the typical. And with skull. Ooh, an item. Ooh. A lot of equipment in here. That's a person. So looks like a lot of equipment in this portion here. And then we have reflex and other stuff. Cool. And the next, the last chunk, everybody. There we go. Now it's got the nice little tab. Now I forget the stairs, what that means. You can see on this card here. So a lot of these have the little stair icon that you see in red. There's a significance, obviously, to that. I forget what it is, though. Looks like this one also just has, these are all counters, interactions, and or places. Ooh, sketch. Ooh, that one's colorful. Oh, more water. Looks like there's probably like a sea shanty village or something like that. This one, ooh, chest. Cool. Nice. Ooh, some maps. Love some good maps. Cool. All right. That's all I'm going to show you. That's all I want to look at myself. So you end up putting these into the box with other things. With all of the other things, words. Shove that over there for a moment. Get her. That's the back side of the box. You don't want that. There we are. Excuse me, knife. Boop. Right over there. All right, we're faced. We are faced. Cool. Well, that is 7th Citadel Season 2. Again, can't really show you much regarding the context of the cards, but a lot more added to the 7th Citadel game. The game is huge. Like, the actual box is not that big. It's the size of this for the base. It seems like most of the stuff may fit in the base and a little bit in here as well. Yeah, I love it. It's just a great exploration game that you can kind of just dive into and just go. You never know really when you're going to win or lose. Obviously, at some point you do. But like those books, I'm so excited to figure out how to get one of those books and just figure out what those do. And it's just that feeling the entire time you're playing is excitement around, okay, I remember this thing being over here somewhere. I remember someone mentioning something like that being to the northeast, you know? And it's like, okay, if I go up that way, okay, there's this tough encounter area, so maybe I'm going the right way because it's getting tougher. And you just kind of, it's that constant cycle of exploration. That is why it says 7th Citadel. Oh my Lord. Explore, build, you are the hero. Because that's exactly what it feels like. It feels like you are the hero trying to save all of your slave gardeners who managed to escape and are trying to make a life for themselves as you uncover the mysteries that are in those threat booklets. So, thank you for joining me here at Bald and Board Games as I unbox the 7th Citadel by Serious Poulp. I'm bored. I'm not bored. Holy shit, I'm bald. I'm bald. I'm not bored. Even though I yawned, I'm not bored. Had a lot of fun doing that. I blame board for that. I'm bald. Board isn't here. But we'll be unboxing Labyrinth Chronicles. We're going to record that tomorrow. by Awakened Realms. Very excited to jump into that. And then the following week, we should be unboxing Seismic, a big mech battler where you're trying to get resources to build your spaceship to take off from this planet before it entirely crumbles beneath you. And during that, you're trying to stop everyone else from doing it. It looks so colorful, so awesome. Very excited for both of those. Excited for this. Excited for everything that's coming in this year that's coming so far. So definitely stay tuned here. If you're watching this on YouTube, please make sure you are subscribed so you can keep up with what we're doing. If you are watching this on, well, this is the video. You're not watching on Instagram. So subscribe here. Go follow us on Instagram. Clearly my mind is shot. I will see you at the table.